Or just watch the sailboats go by. Put it on your list. This is the Hearst Castle, which is north of Santa Barbara, California. If you've never seen the Hearst Castle, put it on your list. This is zip lining in Jamaica. Who's never been to Jamaica before or zip lining? Put it on your list. This is top 10 beaches of the world, Fascinet Bay. How many guys want to see the top 10 beaches of the world? Put it on there. This is Mardi Gras. How many guys have never been to Mardi Gras? I can't say I recommend it actually. This is a walk in the park in Germany. If you haven't been to Germany before, add it to your list. This is the first time to the Opera House, Sydney, Australia. We walked up, she turns around, and immediately a rainbow appears above the Opera House. How many guys want to see an opera in the Sydney Opera House, right? This is, where are my music fans at? Music fans? Okay, this is Coachella. This is 100,000 people, midnight, it's 100 degrees. And this is the 7-year reunion after the breakup of Rage Against the Machine. Unbelievable. This was a 3-day concert in San Francisco called Outside Lands. We saw Pearl Jam, we saw Black Eyed Peas, we saw Dave Matthews Band, we saw Incubus. It was a fantastic few days. This was Swedish House Mafia. I rented a suite for all of our friends to come see the Swedish House Mafia at their farewell tour. What was cool about this is, yes, this was a sold-out United Center Arena in Chicago, but my buddy who DJ'd my wedding was the opening DJ for Swedish House Mafia that night. This was walking into a private auction at Outside Lands, seeing a signed guitar by Pearl Jam, my favorite band, writing a $3,000 donation to kids, and walking out with a signed guitar from your favorite band. How many of you guys want to be able to do that? This is the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. How many of you guys want to see the Louvre in Paris? This is riding a dolphin. Who's never rode a dolphin before? Just put it on your list. This is crazy. This was Italy, Venice, Lido Beach. This was the night that Italy won the World Cup. These crazy Italians literally hijacked a shipping truck. They get on top of it, and that's a moving vehicle right there. And they give the driver of the shipping truck a beer and an Italian flag. He's just driving them all up and down the streets. How many guys, by the way, want to go see the World Cup or be part of that celebration one day? This is Brazil, top of the Sugarloaf, Brazil. You can see Cristo in the background. How many guys want to go to Rio de Janeiro one day? This is a sunset in Puerto Rico. How many guys want to go to Puerto Rico? This is the Sistine Chapel. Sistine Chapel. This is Verona, Italy. It's a Colosseum.
Dude, that looks like you.
It's 2,000 years old. It's not the Colosseum. It's one of the feeder systems. I don't know if you guys know this, but the gladiators, how it worked is it was like minor leagues, and then you graduated all the way to the big Colosseum. So they had these little Colosseums all over Europe. This is Verona, Italy. 2,000-year-old structure. It is now the world's largest outdoor amphitheater. So we went and saw an opera, 5,000 people, 2,000-year-old amphitheater, 2,000-year-old Colosseum, no microphones. Wow. No microphones, and just the stars above. The most amazing experience if you're into that, that type of entertainment. This was Space Needle. Who's never been to the Space Needle before? Guys, put it to your list. But it's not enough just to add it to your list. I'd never been to the Space Needle before. I said, you know what, let's go to the Space Needle on July 4th in the rotating restaurant so we can watch 7 fireworks show at the exact same time. I was broke at this point. Put it on your list. This was my first home that I built. This is inside of a high school. Well, my buddy bought a high school, turned it into modern living. This is the auditorium to the high school. There's a basketball court in the far left. There's a private elevator in the far right, a loft. There's only 2 rules at this condo. Rule number 1 is you must wear shoes. Why? Because every day of my life, my mom said, no shoes in the house. And then she said, just wait till you have your own house. Well, I got my own house, Mom, and we wear our shoes in it every day. Number 2, my mom used to say, number 2 rule is you must throw balls in the house. Why? Because every day my mom would say, no throwing balls in the house. Just wait until you have your own house. Well, I got my own house, Mom, and we throw balls in that thing every single day. This is our new Grand Rapids condo. It's a 7,000 square foot 7,000 square foot, 2-story condo on the 31st, 32nd floor, 270-degree panoramic view. That's a digital koi pond that when you walk in, it's got infrared, so the fish are swimming away from your feet and the water is splashing as you're walking on it, but it's all digital. So there's not real water there. In the upstairs, there's a full gym with a living wall, literally vegetables and plants inside the condo on an entire living wall. Guys, you gotta create your life. You have to create your life. This is our Miami home. This is my favorite one. When I was 20 years old, 21. When I was 21 years old, I went on a cruise because I was a top performer for the company I was a part of. On that cruise, I was allowed to bring my significant other. I didn't have one, so I bought this guy named Blake Mullen. Maybe you heard of him. Blake was 19, I was 21. Who's ever left on a cruise outside of the Port of Miami? When you leave on a cruise outside the Port of Miami, everybody stands on one side. And you go past these 4 or 5 islands. You go past the Venetian Islands, you go past Hibiscus Island, you go past Star Island, you go past Palm Island as you're pulling out of the port. And it's all these multi-million dollar homes, 5, 10, 15, 20, $30 million homes. And at 20 years old, I looked at Blake and I said, I will live on those islands. Now today, we live in the house that faces the cruise ships as they pull out every single day. Finland, you can tell we're super excited about the negative 500-degree weather in Finland. This is the bridge climb, Sydney, Australia. This is a cool one. When I was 19 years old, where are my teenagers at? Stand up, teenagers. Are you here? Any teenagers in the room? There's one. Give a round of applause. All these teenagers. Give a round of applause. Pull the slide back up, please. Pull the slide back up, please. When I was 19 years old, there was some silly guy on a stage, and he said, write down your goals. It doesn't matter how silly they are. And I wrote down a goal that said, I will throw my 10-year reunion. 9 years later, I got a phone call, and they said, hey, do you want to attend the 10-year reunion? I said, how much? Like $50. I said, no, how much to throw the whole thing? I wrote a check, and I paid for the entire 10-year reunion, a goal I set 9 years earlier. And this is a pretty cool thing because he went on now and opened up an inner city youth camp for underprivileged youth because he was had a broken home and was into trouble and everything else. And one of the things that I can't do is I can't do what they do right now. Every year they send out an email and they send it to all of our friends. Hey guys, we're trying to raise X amount of money so that Pat can go to Vietnam, or so that I can go to Laos, and so we can go build churches, etc. And every year, I send back an email saying, I'll write you a check for the entire amount. How many guys wouldn't mind just being able to write me a check and send people on mission trips all around the world? This is a cool one. My grandfathers were both in World War II. None of my grandparents had ever been to California, so I flew them all to San Jose for Christmas. We drove down the Pacific Coast Highway, and then we got to San Diego. There's the highest point in San Diego. It's called Mount Soledad. On top of Mount Soledad is a cross, and then they made a memorial for veterans. So what I did for Christmas, I flew them all out. We drove the PCH, and then we got to the memorial, and those are both my grandfathers in the lower right-hand corner. I got them both a plaque on this memorial in San Diego. How many guys want to be able to do gifts like that for the family and people that you love? This was a trip to Cabo San Lucas. I think Tony Lucero was there. We went whale watching while kayaking. This is an interesting one. We're in Tasmania. Tasmania, the island of Tasmania. It's Christmas Day. We're going from vineyard to vineyard. We're picking up wine and cheese, and we're picking up, a little picnic stuff. And we pull up to this beach, and we get out. We look to the left. We look to the right. There is nobody for miles and miles and miles and miles. Well, what do? You pull your clothes off. You make a Tasmanian Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. This is the Grand Prix, Monaco Grand Prix, Formula One. How many of you guys want to see Grand Prix in Monaco? I mean, it is an unbelievable experience. We got a yacht, or on the yacht, it's literally right in front of them as they're racing by. This is Vienna. This is in front of one of the older churches there, sharing a kiss in Vienna. How many guys want to see Vienna one day? Add it to your list, Vienna, Austria. This is Duomo Cathedral, Milan, Italy. This is elephant seals. How many guys have never seen an elephant seal before? They're crazy. They look like walruses. And clearly there should be a sign that says, "Do not enter." And there was, but I climbed that fence anyways, and I'm down there. If this was during the time frame of selfies, I would have done a selfie on this. But this is our internet reality show called The Pyramid Thing. This is retiring my mom, giving her a get out of job jail free card. How many guys have someone you want to retire? Now, how many guys remember earlier I said that my dad was my antagonist? You guys remember that? And I always said, I was 19, 20, you wait, Dad. You wait. Oh, I'm gonna retire mom. I'm not gonna retire you. You wait. Oh, you wait. I'm gonna buy mom a sports car. Not you. Mother's Day 3 years ago, I called my dad. I was like, "Dad, can you go outside? On mom's Mother's Day gift there. I need you to pick it up. It's kind of heavy." A trailer pulls up with a bunch of BMWs, lowers down a 1 Series BMW, convertible, black with red interior. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Dad, you're not allowed to drive that thing. A couple months ago, my dad was done with his 42nd year at where he worked, and we retired my dad just a couple months ago, and now was able to allow him to come home, and I joke about the fact that I was going to let him sweat it out a little bit, but it was really my mom. I was like, if you retire him and send him home to manage me, we are fighting, right? You keep him at work. So, how many guys have family members that you want to retire by a show of hands? This is the Galleria in Milan, Italy. This is Times Square. How many guys have never been to Times Square? You live in the Northeast, you've never been to Times Square. You gotta go. But you know what's better than going to Times Square? A few years later and your picture's in the middle of Times Square. That's what's even better than going to Times Square. This is Burning Man in the middle of the Black Rock Desert. If you don't know, you don't know. We don't need to talk about it. This is Big Ben, London. How many guys want to go see London someday? Throw it on your list. This is Napa Valley. How many guys have never been to Napa Valley and wine tours? Go, guys, it's amazing. This is celebrating our $1 billion sold. This is what it looks like when your sports team, they win the championship, and then the next month, you rent out their arena and you put more people in their arena for your event than they have for winning the NBA Finals. That's what that looks like. This is the Safari in South Africa. Strongly recommended, #1 life experience ever. A safari in South Africa. Unbelievable time. Put it on your list. This is Hong Kong, Soho district in Hong Kong. This is not buying a Ferrari. I'm not a car person. They're like, oh, this is a Ferrari. It moves out of the 789 64219er, right? I have no idea. Like, I know where the gas goes. I know how to put the roof up and down. I don't know where to put the window washer fluid. I don't know any of that. All I know is how to start the thing, which you don't do this. You actually push the start button and go, right? Here's what this is. This is taking a toy that you played with as a kid. How many guys play with Matchbox? Play with that Matchbox every day and moving that toy from your toy box to your garage. Every single one of you deserve to be able to do that, and I can't wait for you guys to have that opportunity, but you gotta create your life. This is renting a 120-foot yacht for a Jack and Jill bachelorette party. So Ashley brought all her friends, we brought all of our friends, and we took over Miami on a 120-foot yacht. This is checking out Hawaii from a helicopter view. Guys, it's not expensive. Spend a couple $100s and go up in the helicopter and take the tour. Create your life. This is flying out the whole family to Maui for Christmas. This is the Burj Al Arab in Dubai, the only 6-star or 7-star hotel in the world, and then paddleboarding in the Arabian Sea. This is taking in the view, Tabletop Mountain, Cape Town, South Africa. One of the most inspiring things you'll ever see. How many guys want to get on top of Tabletop Mountain and check out the view and just review your goals and your dreams? This is my favorite dinner. This is the top of Banyan Tree, Bangkok, Thailand. And this is, any guys ever seen Hangover 2? Yeah. Remember when the helicopter lands at that amazing restaurant and they're having lunch? This is that place where the helicopter lands, right here. But you know, you're outside and you're 80 floors up and you can see for miles, and they've got this 5-piece band all playing stringed instruments, and this woman singing jazz with no microphone, just singing down at you guys. Like, you gotta create your life. This is my favorite place in America. This is Big Sur, California. It's a little blip on the map, but it's one of the most inspiring places you'll ever be. It's my favorite bridge. And I used to come here and visualize every year. I do it every year. This was actually a couple months ago. And last year that I went, I look up over my bridge and they build this amazing glass house. You can see it at the top of that hill. And I'll tell you right now, you better believe that that house right there in Big Sur, above my bridge, right above the place where I visualize every single year for the last 8 years, will move off my goal list, and I will one day own that house sitting on top of that mountain, guys. You gotta create your life. Cayman Islands for Christmas, Eiffel Tower, today I beat the system. How many of you guys want to go see the Eiffel Tower? Not the one in Vegas, but the one in Paris, right? This is 7 days old. Gia throwing up her first buy sign. Let me come on. You can't even teach that. Colosseum, Rome. Thousands of people walking around the outside. You know what? Find the right person. Give them a couple $100. We're down on the platform. We're down on the platform where the gladiators used to fight. And you take it all in as you walk in a circle, and there's 70,000 people, 80,000 people in this 2,000-year-old structure. The senators were sitting right behind you. You look down where the animals were pulled up and they let the tigers loose, the elephants loose, and the gladiators are fighting for their life. I mean, these guys were fighting for their life. We sell a shake. How hard is what we do? How hard is what we do? How many guys want to go see the Colosseum in Rome one day? Put it on your list. This is the first time I saw a glacier, Alaska. You can tell it's the first time because my pants are tucked into my sock and I don't even seem to care. And it was 2 degrees, but there was no wind and no sound. I don't know if you've ever been somewhere where there's no wind and no sound, so it wasn't cold at all. So I know what a frozen lake looks like looking from Michigan, so I run out to the middle of the lake, I look down, and there's these giant blue ice cubes. And he says, you know what, I was like, what is this? He's like, well, it's pretty sad, the glacier is breaking away. And every day the glacier, a piece of the glacier breaks away and it floats off into the lake, and then the lake freezes, and that's a piece of the glacier. And he says, one day, that glacier is never going to be around anymore. And that was a very profound moment for me. Because I realized at that exact moment that to me those pieces of glacier was nothing but time. And every day there's a piece of time that breaks away from us that we can never get back. And another piece is gone, and another piece is gone, and another piece is gone. And I'm telling you guys, when that glacier's gone, when it all runs out, and you're looking back, you better not have a list of things that you didn't do. You better look back on that life and say, I am so glad I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this. How many of you guys are committed that you're going to have a lived list when it's all said and done of thousands of things? How many of you guys want to see the pyramids? I roll up on a camel to the big three pyramids. I say, man, I would love to climb that. And that it's protected by police. And the guy's like, it's illegal, you can't climb it. I was like, I know, but I would love to climb it. He's like, yeah, I understand, but you can't do it because it's against the law. I said, yeah, I know, but I would love to climb that. He looks to the right, he looks to the left, he says, I am the Michael Jackson of tour guides. $500. Give him $500, all the police disappear. Within 5 minutes, I am at the top of the oldest man-made structure in the world, 5,000-year-old pyramid, checking it all out. Wow. last one. Paris, France. This is the Arc de Triomphe. I'm walking down the street. 8 lanes of traffic. 4 on one, 4 on the other, rush hour. I'm watching this sun as I'm walking. I'm like, this is gonna be a really, really, really interesting sunset. And as I'm walking further, I'm like, this is gonna be a really, really, really interesting sunset. This might be a once, in a lifetime sunset. So here's what I do. I run out to the middle of the road. And there's 4 lanes of traffic this way. There's 4 lanes of traffic that way. And they're blazing by. And they're honking their horns. And they're saying things in French that I'm pretty sure aren't very nice. But it sounded nice because it was French. They're waving their hands at me with not a lot of fingers on it. And they're saying stuff, and there's noise and traffic and noise and people buzzing and honking and saying stuff and yelling and arguing and noise and traffic. I didn't care. It was like, I'm getting there, but there's noise and there's traffic and I'm dodging cars and traffic and noise and people yelling and people mad and people upset. But I didn't care. I didn't care about the noise. I didn't care what they had to say. I didn't care what I had to dodge. I didn't care about the traffic. It didn't matter to me, guys. And the reason why it didn't matter to me is because you only get one chance. And when that one chance arrives, when you only get one opportunity to take it, and when it arrives, and when that shot arrives, you better, despite the noise, despite the traffic, despite what they say, you better take that shot by all means necessary.